Good afternoon, students. We are thrilled to have you here for our discussion this afternoon or this morning, I can't remember which, on election security. And I am Maureen McCarthy. I am the program director for the National Security Forum of Nevada. And it is my great pleasure to be here with Mr. Michael Matthews, Mike Matthews, who is the Protective Security Advisor for the state of Nevada from the Department of Homeland Security, Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency. So with that, Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk to us a little bit today about what happens when disinformation runs for office in the United States.
Thanks, Maureen. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here. There's so much about disinformation and misinformation that we're still trying to get a handle on. And it's unique with the 2020 election, and it was unique with the 2016 election, but more so with the 2020 election than any other election. And part of that is due to twofold. One, the pervasiveness of social media and the ability from someone across on the other side of the globe to talk to Americans and continue a conversation, or to start a conversation, or to just spread information, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And that is unique that we haven't had really in previous elections. And the internet and social media was around in previous elections, but it wasn't like it was with the 2016s and the 2020 elections. And it was really seen to the point where the government actually had to take a step forward and create a rumor control page just about the elections and about the sanctity and the security of the election machines, and about ballot security, and about people hacking into our election counting procedures and stuff. And that's something we haven't seen before. And disinformation is so pervasive. It is now not just in elections. We're seeing it in COVID-19 responses. We're seeing it in a colonial pipeline response, and we're seeing it in everyday information to where it's become the norm. Well, it's just bum information. Oh, well, and we continue on. The problem is when it infects and impacts our elections, it undermines the very fabric of our society, and it undermines the very freedoms that we have to choose our elections and to choose the people who are running the government, and ultimately choose the direction of the nation. And when we start becoming disillusioned with that fact, we undermine everything that this country stands for, whether it's a free market capital, or whether it's the ability to step outside your house, get in your car, and do whatever it is that you decide to do that day because you're an American and you can do what you want. And when we don't trust the elections, we don't trust the direction of the government. And when we don't trust the direction of the government, we don't trust where this country is going, and we start pulling away. We start becoming disengaged, and all of a sudden we're sitting around like a bunch of zombies, just accepting the direction the government is going, rather than having a good contentious discussion and a good debate, and seeking out information and trusting the election process. And if we don't trust it, then we're not really in a position to fix it. And you have to be a part of the solution to fix it.
Speaking of fixing it, perhaps as a good zombie slayer, you would tell us what DHS CISA is doing. And you brought up the rumor control page. What did DHS CISA do during the 2020 election? What do you see as actions that Homeland Security and CISA can take to deal with this issue moving forward?
You bet. So primarily when we looked at the 2020 elections, and DHS and CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, looked to secure our elections, there was 4 major components that we were looking at, and 3 of them were cyber. And it was making sure the voter registration databases were secure, and making sure the voter process was secure, and making sure that if there was tampering, we could instantly see it through all of our cyber sensors and things like that. And then we wanted to secure the physical side of it to make sure there wasn't somebody going in and tampering with the machines that they could, because they couldn't do it remotely. that they couldn't go in there physically and do that. And we also wanted to safeguard the election process to make sure there weren't active shooters or a car running through the lines, which we saw with COVID with the increased queues because of social distancing and the longer wait times. It would be much easier for a car to go through. So those are the things we secured. As we continued in this process, we noted bad information. And I'm going to use bad information as a collective, because there's misinformation, there's disinformation, and then there's malinformation, and they're all different. And when we notice bad information out there, which is a collective of those three, we wanted to take a step forward and say that the elections are secure. And primarily it started with, hey, the elections actually are secure. Here's all the things we've done. And that's actually a myth. And here's the fact. And from there, it spread into ballot security, and it went into hacking security and that type of thing. And then we started digging into it more, and we noticed that there's countries out there that are focused on undermining the faith in the election process. So we started a rumor control page, and the rumor control page has a whole bunch of different rumors on there, very commonly spread rumors or perpetuated rumors, whether through media or through social media or just word of mouth. And we put, here's the reality of it. And so we have the myth, here's the actual reality, here's the truth, and then here's some additional facts about it. And here's all the resources that you can go and look at this information yourself and make your own decision. And that was key. And this rumor control page, if you were to print it out, comes out on multiple pages. It's not just a couple one-twosies. It's if all the big things are on there. And we broke it up into pre-election, what happens on election day, and then post-election, and then new rumors that are still surrounding the elections today. And we're still addressing those things. The other things we put out is a bunch of slick sheets and kind of infographics about the election process and about the security of it. And we pushed out to our state partners, our county partners. We pushed out through media and our social media accounts too, so we can get the right information and resources and references for people to make their own decisions about information. Try to get it into the hands of the citizens and to the public and to the people who are elected, even at a city and county level, to post on their websites. And we really advocated and leaned forward on having our citizenry and society to go out and research the information. And the answers to our concerns about disinformation are not found on social media. They're found on the county voter of registration's website. They're found on the Secretary of State's website. And that's where we're trying to drive people. Go to the official government sources. And those people are elected officials too. They're not puppets of the government, because they are elected officials. They can make their own decisions. They have to re-elect. So their drive is to make sure the elections are secure and make sure there's neutral and unbiased information out there, regardless of the political party they're at. And we see that at a county level, that was very effective.
That's great, Mike. That's really great. I really appreciate that. And I want to give the opportunity for the students to be able to understand what's their role in this. Many of them may be 18, they may be turning 18, they may be voting in the next election, they may even have voted in this election. What is their role in contributing to making our elections not only secure, but trusted? And our democracy, as a result, stronger?
I think that it can be summed up by being a responsible citizen. And being a responsible citizen means to do your research and not to be an echo chamber for what's on social media. There's a lot of great information on social media and a lot of accurate information on social media. At the same time, there's a lot of bad information on there. And there's a lot of false accounts that look like the legitimate accounts. One of the biggest things we struggled with is foreign adversaries and foreign countries creating credible Facebook and social media profiles that look like they were official US government entities, and they were spreading out bad information. And because it looked official, it caused a lot of harm and a lot of problems for us to combat against. And so being a responsible citizen means going out and researching the information yourself rather than being an echo chamber. Even if there's something on social media that I agree with, I want to verify it because it may not be accurate. And just because I like it or I agree with it doesn't make it so. So I want to go out and find the right information. I want to dive in and research that information. It's really an exciting time when it's your first time to vote. And I remember my first time to vote. And it was super exciting. And then I got all this pamphlet information. I was like, holy cow, this is a lot of information to read. And this is a lot of stuff. But I took it seriously because if I wanted to affect change and make the changes that I desired to see in my county and city and country, then I had to make sure I was making the best decisions based on the information I had. It is critical for you to go out there and research that information, and it is not found on social media. So go out, be excited about about voting, know that your vote matters. Every single person's vote matters. And it can be that we saw across counties and states across the nation that some of these votes and some of these decisions came down to hundreds of votes, and that was it. So your vote matters, but be informed, go out and research your information.
Fantastic, Mike. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. We look forward to seeing all of the students join us for the discussion directly with Mike, live with Mike on Wednesday, 26th of May at 10 a.m. So you're in the 10 to 10:50 slot. Come with your questions, come be prepared. And Mike, I have to tell you, you're following John Ralston's a discussion on the fourth branch of government. So we'll be having a lot of disinformation.
Tough act to follow.
No. You'll do great. So thank you all for joining us. I appreciate that. And thank you, Mike, for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.